This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You are always scum. Rebel scum.
Rebel scum. Welcome to the New World Order. We have Star Wars. Let's get to it. I'm Brock. This is
James Door.
That's actually pretty good. This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Boom! Coming to you late. Boom. You know what? We had 3 episodes to unload.
It's my fault.
I mean, no. It's nobody's fault. It's Disney's fault for
Disney.
Here, have 2 hours of content. And what a heck of a amount of content, James.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, it was actually my fault because the Leafs are in the playoffs, and I watched Game 2 of that series instead, and then I plan on watching it after. But the episodes were so long. The Leafs just scored. It's 2-1, by the way. Not that I'm watching it. Anyway, so look, I was going to watch it after, and then the episodes were so long. But by the way, they weren't as long as the second episode was not as long as I thought. But so I was like, I can't watch it. And then I was like, I'll find time the day, on Wednesday to watch it. We can do the show Wednesday night. And no, not going to happen. So I just asked you, I begged you, and you were like, fine, jeez. You're like, stop talking to me. So anyway, look. I could have watched them yesterday, but would I have enjoyed them and paid attention to them? Or not yesterday, you know what I mean? Earlier in the day than I did. And I have to say, I watched them late last night, 7. And I thoroughly enjoyed these episodes. But I have some minor gripes, which I told you about.
Sure.
But I really enjoyed it. Hello, Automated Joy, Heidi Fetter, and Ron.
What up?
But you got to watch it right away, and you kept texting me spoilers. So what were your thoughts?
I did none of those things. James is lying when he's stuttering and staring into his hands. I thought it was great. It was sort of just straight off the bat, just visually, it looks great. It's just sort of, if anything, it's I'm not mad about this show. I'm still mad about 3 episodes every Tuesday because yes, all 3 episodes. Yeah, it's a storyline of this, but there wasn't if you just watch the first episode, it doesn't leave you in the lurch. I think it does a really good job of here's what's happening, here's what we're doing, and there's not what else. I don't think it's that. As much as Andor has a specific feel, I don't think it needed all 3. James, I feel like you have something to say on this.
I thought the first episode ended at an odd time. Because there was some action, and they picked him up and dragged him. Spoilers if you haven't seen the first 3 episodes, we should say. But they picked him up and dragged him, and then it cut to black, and I was like, okay. And then that's when I was like, I get why you're putting on the next episode at least. Yeah, I don't know, but weekly would be great. Then we'd have 12 weeks of podcasting and the show. Exactly. And we would have been able to go live yesterday, maybe even Tuesday afterwards. Had it not been. But, at the same time, it was one big, long story that ended.
Yeah.
So kind of, the question is, why don't they just make 4 3-hour long episodes? That's the question.
And now, I'm very excited for next week. Don't get me wrong. I'm loving this show, but as we kind of are assuming that it's going to jump to different periods between. Oh, I love how the first episode starts with, is it 4 BBY?
4 BBY.
I'm like, Yeah, they're like, it's like we are going to approach it. So I naturally assume that it's gonna be each week is gonna the first episode in
Yeah,
that cluster is gonna be how many years it is until the Battle of Yavin.
yeah,
So I'm like, which I think they're gonna do a good job, but just like, oh, I want to know what they feel like after the end of. Okay, we're in spoiler country here. Like Brasso died. How are they going to deal with that? But I feel like it's gonna jump like a year or 6
it'll be a
months or
year.
whatever. So it's just
Yeah,
sort of like I know it'll work, and when you think about the first season, it kind of did that as well without
yeah.
being like, but just sort of like I don't need you to jump this quickly, but I'm optimistic it's gonna work out.
I
This will get Go ahead.
No, sorry. I think the Brasso death is that's a good point. I never really thought of it till you said it.
Yeah,
Then I did think of it in that quick moment. But I think it will play a factor. I think it's going to play into
yeah,
Bix because Bix is having such a hard time, obviously, with the Empire that
yeah,
I think it's going to really affect her. And if you see, like, she spent more time with him towards the end, and her reaction kind of not being able to reflect on it. So I I think I could be wrong. Obviously, I haven't seen these episodes. We can ask our pal Pete Fletzer about them. He's seen all the episodes, but but it's not Thanksgiving, so he won't be on the show. So we need, but I think she will. I think it will get mentioned, but it won't be as heightened as it would be had it not been. But again, I agree with you. Like all 3 arcs are a year is weird because this was like 2 days. This was
yeah.
like 2 days. So we got 2 days of an entire year is what we saw here. So yeah, that's not a concern for me because it's done such a great
No.
job. And like after season 1, I have all the faith in the world. And I think these 3 episodes, for my minor gripes that I have with them, I feel like this was primer. Like this is like setting up, now big things. The stakes are going to get higher and higher, obviously, as it goes. We obviously know where this is all culminating with the Death Star and Alderaan. So I'm really I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, and we'll talk about some nitpicks later. But I think just after season 1 and how strong the show is written, and you can just tell that there's a care put into the show as well, like a planning and a care that I have all the faith in the world that we're going to get it.
Yeah, like that opening scene where in the first episode where you see the landing bay in some kind of base, we're thinking, and it's all and like it's the technician going in and just checking everything in the I was gonna say X-Wing, the TIE fighter, and it's just like we've seen the inside of a TIE fighter, but just sort of like seeing that much, all the like little care, and like this isn't a person in like a stormtrooper get up or armor or anything. They're literally like we're literally like we're the technician making sure this is ready to go. The landing pad is all white. It's just like looks so good. I'm like, I could like watching that. I was like, I'm in. I'm right in. And like, I also liked what that episode did because it does sort of like you said, it does end abruptly. But I feel like the first episode does this thing where it's like, okay, Cassian's more sure of himself. He is all in on the rebellion, but he's not perfect yet. Still, like it's just like he does this whole pep talk with the technician that is now going to like flip to the rebellion, help him do something, which we never get the full answer on. He says all these things, and then he's like utterly fails getting away with that TIE fighter.
That was so good. That was so well done because you're like, here's the hero escape moment.
Yeah.
And no, not even.
Then, like,
I thought
the explosions in the door, but you can't see it.
It was so good. That opening scene was when I texted you. I said, it's such a nice looking show. Like, or whatever I wrote. I was like, because that opening scene was so beautifully shot. And like you said, like you see, I like that they showed that side of the Empire because that's the side, like, obviously the original movies don't need to worry about that too much. But like, this is, everyone's like, oh, I would never follow the Empire. No, you probably would because they're probably, they would probably dupe you pretty easy. Like you'd probably buy into it because they're so clean and cut. It's like we don't see the nitty. You don't see VP using the force lightning or anything. You see like the other side was like, this is for the good of the galaxy, and I like that they're kind of they're not showing it, but they're showing it in that like the TIE fighter was so clean, that room was so clean, it's so
Yeah.
white. It's not all the blacks that they see the villains usually wear or accustomed to. So yeah, it's just great attention to detail.
Honestly, for a hot second in that scene before she goes to meet with Cassian, I'm like, is this Vader's TIE fighter? I'm like, no, they wouldn't. Like, I mean, that'd be sick, but like, it's like, no. This is just a TIE fighter. Which again, over the course of the 3 episodes, we never get an explanation of what he's doing.
No,
right? We
I
never
don't
get
even think
like
he knows what he's doing.
he's supposed to get out of there. The technician is supposed to help him at some point. He's given a password. He never says. I thought at the end of the 3rd episode, when he finally gets contact with Luthien's assistant, like he'd say the password, but he never does. And I'm like,
No,
yeah.
and I think that's also to show you like how they're kind of making it up as they go, and like
exactly, yeah.
it's not it's what you love about The Last Jedi, where it doesn't nothing is going as planned, right? It's not as neat and tidy as it should be.
Yeah, and it's just like, and you see it again with like this. He lands, and there's this like Splinter Cell rebellion group that has lost their leader and has killed his buddy, and you're just like, what? It's just like, yeah, it's like the rebellion is just a bunch of like small groups. There is no unifying thing, which like maybe that what Mon will be when she finally goes full rebellion.
Well, it's a good point, because even though it's completely different in a lot of ways, it's the exact same, but Rebels dealt with that as well, where if you remember early on in Rebels, Dave Filoni used to go into interviews and talk about how there wasn't just a rebellion yet. There was different factions. Like they're all kind of scattered throughout.
Yeah.
And Rebels that show kind of comes together and brings them into rebellion. So we saw that in like a children's animated version. Now we're going to see it in the more hard-nosed adult variation of that. And I kind of like that they're sticking with those guns, where it's like they're all over, they're little groups, but eventually they're going to get together, and it's going to be problematic for the Empire, obviously. Spoilers, but they end the Empire. They end the Empire.
I saw on Instagram, I don't know if you saw this, there's a Star Wars thing that said that one guy that Mon Mothma talks to at the wedding, or one of the parties before the weddings, he's like in a white suit, and he's like, I grew up on Naboo, and my mother is half Gorman. Apparently, that is a character that is like one of the soldiers with her in Rebels. I'm like,
I saw that, yeah.
I'm like, I don't remember that guy at all, but I'm like,
and that's something you wouldn't expect Gilroy to do.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was him or somebody said it should probably be that guy. Like, again, it's so inconsequential, but like if it already exists, keep it there. And I think there's a respect for that. Like Saw Gerrera is a perfect example of that. I say all the time, like perfect example of if you have a character, use the character. Why create a new character? We create new characters, but you don't need to all the time.
No,
it's the same universe. Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was going to bring up Heidi's comment. I didn't understand that scene until they revealed it was Yavin 4.
Yeah, I think that was great. Was that the end of episode 2? Now it's all kind of a blur of when.
I think it was the end of it.
Yeah, because he flies away at that point.
Or was it partway through episode 3? I don't honestly could not tell you. I love that he was upside down for 2 days. That made me laugh. that gave me a good chuckle. I love that it was Yavin though, because again, I was also like I said to you before here, I'm like, it felt like that went on for too long, but I think there's a payoff to obviously Yavin, but I think there's more of a payoff coming to all of that.
I think
so. I like things like Rebels. Back to Rebels, Tommy. Be patient with these things, and then if they don't pan out at the end, then you can say what you want. But until then, be patient and let's see what's up.
No, I thought
yes, it was episode 2, Brock.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah, because I remember it being the ending of an episode, so I'm like, it has to be 2. What is Gilroy's obsession with farms? Like, it's just like in Rogue One, he's like they get Mads Mikkelsen, and he's on that like weird dirt farm, and now
just a simple farmer.
3 days of 3 episodes of just like, look at all this wheat.
Okay, I do have a question for you because you've
Hmm.
seen Rebel Moon.
Oh
Which
God.
wheat farming do you prefer, Rebel Moon or
Oh,
Andor?
Andor. Andor.
I don't know why I
Like
just thought of that, but I did.
I don't know how real those fields are, but
They looked it.
I mean, they looked real. That was the thing. Or it looked like they were in a massively big wheat field
Mhm.
that I've never seen one exactly like that. You know what I mean? Like I've seen a wheat field, but like the way it looks on this planet. Meanwhile, like Rebel Moon looks like, yeah, we found a farm on the way into like Pasadena and we just shot. They can't if you panned a little to the left, you would see a McDonald's or something. Like, you know what I mean? No disrespect, but yeah, I honestly I will probably watch this show again with the audio off and just like occasionally like look at it and be like, yeah, that's nice. It looks great. And I think
Mhm.
I think I said this to Raham after I watched it. I'm like, what makes me mad is like this looks like a movie.
It's funny because I asked Andrew Fantasia what he thought of it, and he goes, "Oh, it looks." He's like, "I'm glad it's not the volume. It looks like a movie." Blah blah blah. And I think everyone agrees. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that at all. You just said it. I'm saying it. But they spent more than they're spending on the Mandalorian and Grogu movie to make this movie. Like they've spent more on this to make movies. So it almost is like, yeah, no kidding, it looks better than movies. Because it costs more than movies, and there shouldn't be an excuse for it not to. That being said, why wasn't it just a bunch of movies?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just make some movies and throw? They could have made a 4-part Star Wars series of movies, throw them in the theater, and you know what? They wouldn't have made $1 billion because it's
No.
Andor. Yeah. But you don't call it Andor. You call it Rebel, Star Wars Rebel Rising, something stupid. Don't call it Rebel Rising. But you call it something like that. And Rebel Moon too. But you throw it in the theater, it's gonna make 500 million easy. So you don't do any marketing because it's Star Wars, and the Star Wars fans are going to go, and people be like, "Oh, Star Wars is back." And I mean, I think it's got to be a little. There has to be a little bit more to it than these 3 episodes, like for it to be a theatrical run. But anyway, that's not my point. My point is, it looked really good because it cost a lot of money, and they hired really talented people to do a good job with that money.
Yeah, it's just like, what was I gonna say? No, the vibe, like, yeah, I don't think Andor would really necessarily be a hugely successful movie, but the look of this movie and maybe kind of the vibe is like Dune, so it's like maybe it would do well. Like,
I think if you don't call it Andor, it does better. You can't call it Andor. You have to call it something else. Then I think you have. But Dune didn't make $1 billion either. I think you have I think you make money with it. I think it's good. And you're right. It is more similar to Dune. And we did a podcast, a year ago, where we said, is Dune the new Star Wars? Dune's been around longer than Star Wars. Like, we're talking movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe people want that in the theater. Maybe people would go and watch it, and then people would complain there's not enough action. But I think you would add stuff like that to it. Man, that was part of me. Like when I didn't watch it on Tuesday because I was watching the hockey game, I was like, wouldn't it be great if we went to the theater to watch this on Friday? Wouldn't that be great if like I drove down and met you and like we went to go see this thing in a theater? Because it is still, even with that second episode being shorter than I thought, it's still long enough to be a full length movie. Like, I would totally do it to watch this. But if they were like, there are 4 Andor movies coming out this year, next year, whatever the hell it is, I'd be like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, like it's I mean, the length is the length, and it's like they're long when you look at them, but they're very enjoyable to watch. Like, but each episode, like credits are easy 7 minutes, like 7 minutes long. I timed it 7 minutes long, and like off the top, the opening credits, like opening the cinematic, whatever. Like it's only, let's just call it like 45 seconds. So really, you're like cutting off at least 8 minutes on every episode. So it's like reality, it's like they're under 50 minutes each. So, but yeah, you're like you said, it's just like if you call it all 45 minutes, it's still like almost, it's like a feature length. Like,
go for it. Like,
but like it's I even after that, and I'm like, that's like, it's like you have the capacity to make a movie and it'll make it look good. Story wise, who knows? Like really, the only thing in the equation that we're always uncertain of is script.
Yeah.
But this type, everything else, like what you just made with Andor, just do it again, but with a different script in a 2-hour, like a script that doesn't take 12 episodes, script that's like, I mean, granted, I know there's 12 scripts, but it's just like, it looks good. And honestly, like, I definitely in the first episode, but like throughout, I'm like, it was a reminder that like this show isn't about the rebellion, it's about Andor.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
the title is Andor, and I'm like, oh yeah, because I was worried that I hadn't rewatched the first season, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna be lost. I don't feel lost at all.
Mhm.
Like I think the only time I was like, who's that guy in the mirror that you see at the beginning when she's dreaming? I'm like, oh, it's the guy that tortures her, right? I was just like,
Yeah.
I forgot what he looked like, but outside of that,
Actually,
I was like, oh yeah.
Let's get into that scene that has Twitter abuzz, and there's a lot of people are like, I've seen a lot of. There's a lot of discourse, is what I see people.
Of course.
I see people mostly saying Ottawa Discord. I see people saying, "Oh, there's a lot of discourse," and I just said, and I'm looking. I think people are just immature because I saw that scene. The only part of the scene that kind of threw me off was when she was like, "He tried to rape me."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, like, but the rest, like the actual scene itself, it was like, okay, this is exactly what would happen. Like, and it didn't feel like anything. No pun intended here, but it didn't feel like anything was forced in that scene. Like it felt like very natural. Like this is happening,
Yeah.
and and then she beat him up and whatever, and then that the line was the only thing that I was like, we didn't need that. But like leading up to it, I'm like, yeah, that's how it would probably go.
Yeah.
In the real galaxy world, because that's how it usually goes, and you abuse power. That's what it is. It's
exactly.
Abuse of power.
I was like sort of like watching it because you know what? It's like again, like these rumors, and granted, it was accurate to a point. These rumors and spoilers that we get ahead just ruin like the thing.
Mhm.
Like I imagine we had just watched that and like had known that anything crazy was gonna happen. Every time she was alone with a man, I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
oh god. It's just like that's so brutal. So when she actually says the word rape, you're like, ooh, that's crazy. But like you're not. I mean, yeah, that does still stand out. You know what I mean? But like, it's just like.
I'm not sure what stood out, if it was the way it was written or the delivery, or I just didn't. It just felt that was the only thing that I was like, like it was kind of like, you didn't need to go that. But I don't know if it was like maybe the delivery or whatever. But that's my opinion.
At no point in the 3 episodes did I ever think that Brasso and Bix and what's the other guy's name?
I don't remember.
The guy that kind of screws them all over. At no point do I think they're helpless, right? Like, granted, they're waiting for Cassian to come back, but they're family. They want him to come back safe so that they, they're together. Exactly. At no point I'm like, oh, they're just waiting for him. They're like, no, these 3 like look like they are ready to join the rebellion. Like, yeah, Bix has this past she's like dealing with, but like I never see her as weak. I see her as like they're in a situation where like if they try to cause trouble, they can cause trouble for everyone on that planet, or at least in the settlements, right? So it's like you always got to keep that in mind. And then again, it's just like, yeah, in the scene where he finally tries something, it's like it's not she is weak, like strength wise, she's weak because she's being held back by the weight of like he's still just a person. Like I don't need to like use violence. She's like held back by like violence is not the answer. Like we could just walk away from this, and like of course that's not how it would happen. So it's like once like that possibility of any like, oh, let's just walk away from this goes away, yeah, then she takes him out. It's like she kills that dude. So I mean,
she does pretty brutally.
I know. I just sort of like the the hysteria
That
it
seemed more out
created.
of place in Star Wars than the actual act. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
she's beating him with tools.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that was,
Like the hysteria that this prior and during, it's just like, come on. Like, it's just like, I don't know. But it didn't really take me out of it.
no.
I think you said something to me before we started recording. It's just like, the show is so good with characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you like every single character in this, even the bad ones. Like Deidre and what's the dude's name?
Cyril,
Thank you. They're like amazing characters. Cyril's barely in these 3 episodes, but when he's on screen, he's like killing
the
it.
fork on the plate,
And
when he has to like.
oh yeah. I'm
good.
like, I saw this and I was like, James is gonna love this. It's just like the minutia things, and it's just like, that is this show to a T. It's like,
Yeah,
we're not gonna talk about Jedi. We're not gonna get mystical in this, and we're not gonna win all the time.
And if you're not going to have Jedi or talk about Jedi, you've got to distract us with, and they are, with quality writing and characters, and that's what they're doing. And
Like,
Disney does bring up Deidre and Cyril's mom was her favorite part.
Oh,
That was
absolutely.
a great part. So well done. It's also like so well acted too. Like, everybody brings their A game to this. They're like, let's go, we got this.
all the characters from last season that have returned in this 3 episode arc is like, it's like they've evolved. They're still recognizable. You're this and you're that, but then they've all evolved to a point. Time has definitely passed. Like, Deidre is like still unsure of herself, or is obsessed with figuring out who she doesn't know it's Andor and Luthen. I forget what, like, she thinks up a name, whatever, and she's like, she knows there's a rebellion rising, and she's obsessed with it, right? But like, she seems unsure of herself with Krennic and all that. But then that scene with Cyril's mom and her, and she's just like, this is how it's gonna go, and you're gonna like it. And you're just like, boom, like honestly, Axis. Thank you, Desi. Honestly, Deidre could be the villain of this entire series, and I'd be like chef's kiss.
Well, and Heidi bringing up that Deidre was great, and for a second you forgot she's a villain, and that's what's so great about it, is you do forget she's a villain, and she's on the same side as the perv who just tried to have his way with Bix. And you forget that, you don't even recognize it, and she might not condone it, but it doesn't matter. Like, again, that's a thing, but like, you forget, like, that's the side, they're on the same side, they're on the same team. And it does a great job of that for sure. And oh man, I can't wait for the next 3 episodes. They should have just released all of them at once, Netflix style, and we could have just marathon watched them on a podcast.
Just like record a whole bunch of episodes at once and then slowly release them throughout the week.
Does Netflix release at midnight in all time zones?
Netflix? I have no idea, because I can't tell you. Like, the last thing that was time sensitive for me on Netflix was like wrestling, and that's always just Eastern Standard Time, right? Yeah. Well, no, that's not entirely true.
But it's live though. It doesn't. That's different.
It's live. Yeah.
I mean, when they have like I don't
new
know,
episodes or new shows,
like, is it midnight? Does anyone know?
I want to say like it's either midnight or 3 o'clock, right? Depending on.
Yeah,
would it matter?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you release all the episodes, you can't do midnight. You can't do 3 a.m. releasing all episodes, because 3 a.m. sucked. And there's a lot of people on the East Coast. I'm just not saying that. That's a fact. That's a fact. No, I thought it was a really good episode. The wheat looked really good. The only thing with the wheat, I thought the sky might have looked a little phony. I think maybe they might have enhanced the sky a little, but I think they were not phonish and not phony. I think they were trying to make it look a little alien, like a little not of this world, which makes sense, because you don't want to watch Star Wars and be like, oh yeah, that's Idaho. You want to watch it and be like, where are they right now? I don't know where they are. Which is look, that's an actual thing. Like, if you watch something and you think, I think this was some like Din's problem with Skeleton Crews, with the suburban lifestyles. Like, when you watch it and it doesn't teleport you to another galaxy, if it's almost too real, it kind of like might ruin the illusion of what you're watching. I did not find that with Skeleton Crew, but I'm just saying like that. It is a thing where people want to feel like they're somewhere else and they want it to look like they're somewhere else. And
Yeah.
I think that might have been why they did the Sky. Yeah.
Yeah, like all those places felt real, like all of them. Like even the obviously not real bases when you're like in the first episode, it's like that looks real. You're like, that's not real. Those don't exist. That's not a place. Like it's a set. Looks so good. Just trying to think what else happens in this. I think like the whole like two teams of this rebel group that capture Cassian in the second and third or first and second episode. I'm like, could have done a little less with that, or at least like maybe they start working together. But again, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest complaints was that storyline just felt like it just kept going and going. It wasn't going anywhere, just going in circles. And it ended with a game of rock, paper, scissors, which was so bizarre. And it was, and the problem too was like, how it's going to end up. Like, Andor is getting out of that situation.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they were, like, I think it would have been more compelling if we were getting to a point where, like, I know it was to show how he's kind of grown and whatever, but I think it might have been even more compelling had it, had maybe like we seen a little bit more of them maybe turning to the rebellion or whatever's going to happen with them. But but like it was a small gripe. It just felt like it went too long. Like I think I said to you, like kind of felt like all three of these might have been able to be one shorter episode. That's one thing that I would have cut down probably was that, because it was but again, I just said a little while ago, I gotta see how it's all going to play out, because I think they're coming back.
I think it's like it's good in the sense of like when like Deidre and all those Imperials meet with Krennic to talk about like Gormamu, Gorlami. That's what it made. Every time they said Gorman, I was like Gorlami. Like she's like, you just have to have the wrong kind of rebellion, a bunch of rebels that will do the wrong thing, and then it like cuts to those guys, and I'm like, okay, I can see the relevance of this now. Yeah, it still floors me. I'm like, you really don't know what Cassian was up to in those first 3 episodes. Like, what was the
plan? It didn't matter. There's probably a lot of those plans. It did harken back to season 1 where we saw the juxtaposition of Mon Mothma and Andor being a rebel, and like he's in the nitty gritty of it, and she's up there just partying around, getting wasted.
Yeah, no, that's true. In the 3rd episode, when like what is he doing? Oh, he's arrived back at the wheat field planet, and they're like, he's not even there yet. They're all like, it looks like Brasso and Bix are like trapped. They're like, they're done. And at the same, it's like juxtaposed, like you said, with her dancing around and having a panic attack because she's like, everything's crumbling. My financier looks like he's gonna like give us up because he's like poor now.
Do you think we'll ever see him again?
I hope so. In my head, I was like, oh, she's gonna have to kill him, and that's gonna be like, or like he's gonna do something, so that'll be how she has to like escape from, normal life and become part of the rebellion, start being the Mon Mothma we see in Jedi. But yeah, like I what do you think? Like now we see a little bit more Mon Mothma's like personal life, and then her sister's involved, and it's just like I really like that. It's like the high society that she's still trying to work. And then her sister's on this, but it's like, why are we doing this? Like, what? This is all a joke.
Yeah,
this is all a joke. This is all for nothing. It's just to make money or whatever, or just like finance the rebellion to an extent, or just create appearances. Like, just like it was just so good, and just relish living in those episodes, because it's just like I'll definitely rewatch this show for sure. I wonder, like you said, it's like, will we appreciate the episodes by the end of the season? I don't know, but I've said this a bunch of times. It looks so good.
I need a robot chicken. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm wondering, like, because I thought for sure, like, oh, she's gonna kill him, and then they kind of give you that ending where you're like, okay, like, oh, they're gonna kill him, but are they? Are they gonna use him for some other good? Like, what are they gonna do? Just talk to him, torture him, discuss things with him? I don't think he's long for that world. He might not. That might be the end of it, but that could also propel. Something's got to go on with Luthen, obviously, and Mon's sister, right? Because we know that they're not in Return of the Jedi or anything else. So something is now. That being said, Mon Mothma's not even in A New Hope, so maybe nothing has to happen with any of them. Because
exactly.
They could just be like, they're off world. Heidi is saying dead. And Scare Scuttlebutt, I'm glad they dropped 3 episodes at once. I think it toppled and broke fandom faster at one time. Politics has no place in Star Wars.
You know what? It's like maybe this is why one issue that or one thing that Acolyte could have like advantaged from. Like I feel like because there was only one or like it was mostly like week to week, right? It's like perhaps they just need a slightly longer episode. But now that I think about it, it's like I think their episodes are roughly the same length. I like, so I don't know.
See, I don't know if I would have liked Acolyte no
Longer.
matter what they did, but longer. I think things needed to be fleshed out in Acolyte for sure. But that being said, I don't think they necessarily needed. I don't know if I would have liked it still, but I think the whole thing needed to be fleshed out more. And I wonder if it would have been stronger had it all been dropped all at once or in parts. I don't know what parts they would have been, but they did. They dropped 1 and 2 together, which I think helped it. I remember the views went up, but then the 3rd episode was terrible. So it's tough. Yeah, and here we go. Acolyte needs to be fleshed out and reorganized. I completely agree with that. That's what I think too. Is I think it ended where I thought it was going to start. Like it got to a point where I was like, "This is interesting," and we're done. But I think even the show we got, there's a better show in that show, but we didn't get, in my opinion, the better version of that show.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's just like I said, it's like it's a show about Andor. There's a large chunk of the show where he's just not in it at all. But I mean, we're expecting Mon Mothma and Andor to meet up, or I don't know. Like, well, yeah, there's no moment where like they interact that much really in Rogue One, but like there is an assumption that they're aware of each other, right? Yeah, like it's. I mean, this season will definitely solidify like why Andor is the way he is in the very beginning of Rogue One. You're like, so it's just like you watch it and you're like, wow, that was great. And then you think of what we saw in the trailers and it's like, oh wow, there's so much more to happen.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot in the next 3 weeks. There's only 3 weeks left. I can't believe we're already at the 3 weeks left mark of this whole thing, Brock. It's like it just started 2 days ago.
Oh my god.
I feel like that's the one downside. But I wish they just put this in the freaking movie theater.
Hi, Vermont Mike. Welcome to the party. Put up what Heidi just said before she said hi to Mike right there, season 2. See that? I agree. You know me, James. I don't really care about music, but I feel like there was a lot of good, just like moments.
She means the
of
Acolyte.
music.
You know what? No, let's pretend. No, she means the music. Go on.
She means the music. I don't know. What you're better at noticing music. I found there was a lot of good use of audio music.
I find that I am good at noticing music, but I have horrible taste in music. And what I know about music is completely off. But I notice music. So I think that's what's important. Like I do know I'm pretty good at noticing it, which sounds stupid when I say it out loud. But yeah, I know you know what's funny is I was like, oh, I like the music. The only thing is like it's not. I thought it was good. Like the music fit and everything. But what day? Side Akbar. What day was it? There was one day, and my daughter was like, "Make pancakes," and I said, "Or waffles." She goes, "Waffles." So I said, "Okay, let's make some waffles." I made sugar-free, no nonsense waffles, and I put it in a Darth Vader waffle maker. And I goes, "She goes, Star Wars." I'm like, "Yeah." And I had Alexa play Star Wars. I'm like, just play Star Wars. And then it played something that wasn't Star Wars. I said, John Williams. And it played the opening theme from Star Wars, Brock. And I was like, oh yeah, this is freaking amazing. And so while I like the music from Andor, I'm going to say the same thing I've said for every show so far is, oh yeah, the Star Wars music is freaking amazing. Why don't we have more Star Wars music in it? I guess this one, I like the music. I'm not complaining. But I'm also saying Star Wars music is pretty awesome. And it makes everything a lot better.
I agree with you. I will criticize you though. So you had Alexa play. I know you didn't choose that song specifically, but Alexa played the quintessential Star Wars music that probably whenever you hear it, you're triggered. You're like, oh, endorphins shoot to your head.
It was like it played that, and then it went to Imperial March right after.
Nice.
But the first one, I wish I knew. I gotta find it. The first one was not Star Wars. It was like Star stuff. I'm like, where did you get? I'm like, no, I want to hear stuff. Yes, Scared Scuttlebutt. We talked about that earlier. That Rebels kind of that they had little groups all over the galaxy, and that was established in Rebels.
I just like the line that like Cassian says where you're like, oh, your leader is this person? I work with her all the time. It's just like that. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, oh, tell me more. I'm like, can we get the leader to show up and then they can go on a fun adventure? It's like, that's how easy I am. I'm like, oh, you should tell it to Contra Club. Like stuff like that where you're like, oh.
Tell that to Contra Club. No, I think there's a lot in those scenes that were really good. I just felt like there might have been too much of it. But again, that's a small gripe. And I feel like because they're on Yavin, things are going to pay off there that haven't as of yet. You want to go to the odds?
Let's do it.
Hold your pants. Okay, now we can. Okay, go.
The possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Never. Oh, I didn't send you.
Tell me the odds.
I can't.
No, you did. You texted me. You're good.
Yeah, I texted. I didn't email it though.
But this is the part where I have to read off my phone.
Yeah, you got to read.
Never tell me the odds. Brought to me, James, Heidi, Vermont Mike, Scarab Scuttlebutt Podcast. I think Disney Desi's still here. And that's it. No, it's brought to you and everyone by patreon.com/Patreon. If you like what we do, you want to support us, if you want us to continue to talk about Star Wars when we are not busy, go on down to patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast and support us any way you do and become one of the many few that we say, I love you. I love the following people: Heidi Feder, executive producer; Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Sooner Thrawn, Randy Kenomi, Mary Kristen Aton, Dale Erdman, Phil Stanforth, Rez, Scott D, Josh Price,
Matt W, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Den of Nerds, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Ron Prasek, and Jeff Wilson, and Cassian Andor. He just gave us Imperial credits, and they don't work here. First, all the odds are from Heidi. So thank you, executive producer Heidi. I had a couple, and she gave me better ones. And I said, You know what? I will use ours for a rainy day in July when nothing is happening in Star Wars world. One thing won't be happening, a movie, until next May. From Heidi, never tell me the odds. What are the odds that Deidre will inadvertently get Cyril killed? Because, and this is going by trailers, Brock, I think she has him infiltrate the Gorman insurgency.
Going on what we've learned in the 3 episodes, this one, I'm going to say 30% because there's something we're not knowing fully about their relationship yet. There's something unless I'm forgetting something from season 1. It's like there's something that more we're gonna learn.
Yeah, I don't think they're a couple. I think they're faking it for the Empire.
Yeah,
I know 60% though.
Yeah,
because kill him.
Yeah,
Never tell me the odds. Next odd, there will be a failed assassination attempt on SheVP.
I don't think so.
A failed assassination attempt by SheVP.
I like it, but it's like we had 3 movies where the only person that could get remotely close to the Emperor was Luke. So I think that guy is on lockdown. So I'm going to say 10%.
Luke is not on lockdown, actually. Look at this. I'm watching a hockey game, and there's a Andor commercial
Nice.
for Disney Plus. I've seen more Disney Plus commercials during this. This is the second one I've seen than I have on Disney Plus. Never tell me the odds. Did I give one on there? I'm going to go 30%. I like the idea, though. I like that he fakes an assassination. The attempt on my life. Our final odd. From Heidi once again. A character will commit suicide by the end of the season. It's getting dark in here. Very
Jesus, Heidi.
dark. Heidi went full dark.
One of like the main characters, is that what it said?
Any character.
Any character? No, I don't know, because it's like even though they had the heavy tone of the first 3 episodes with Bix, it still wasn't like it was there. There was like, okay, like stuff is bad, but we can get through it. I'm gonna go like 15%. I know that's a weird thing to say, but that's kind of how the vibe was of the episodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 11%. At this point, I don't know who it is or why they would, so I'm gonna go 11%.
Yeah.
Disney said Andor and the whole Rogue One crew kind of do. They knew what they were getting into.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
But
that's fair.
I think Heidi means a different type of commit suicide. And those are. Did I give mine? 11%. I should change it. Maybe 11%. All right, let's go to top 5.
Top 5.
If I can find it. Overtime underway in Ottawa, nation's capital.
Nice.
I think Ottawa's going to win this game, though, Brock. Oh, no, I just said that on record. I don't have a good feeling about this. Top 5 moments from episodes 1 to 3. I just wrote mine right now, which is great. My number 5 is Mon Mothma getting drunk. Just drunk Mothma. That's the rebels know her as drunk Mothma.
My number 5, I'm going to think it up as we go. My number 5 is going to be I guess because it's so jokey, but it's actually a pretty great way to start the series, is Andor trying to escape the base with the TIE fighter.
Oh, no, I only have 4 moments. Oh, man, my math is way off. That's a good one. That's a good one. Won't tell you where it is on mine. Gosh, what's my 4th one? What's a good thing that happened in this episode? That's not my top 3 here. I'm going to go with rock, paper, scissors. Just rock, paper, scissors. It was weird. I don't get it.
It was weird.
No, you know what? The reveal of Yavin. The reveal that they're on.
There you go. I was going to put it higher, but now that I think about it, it's not as... It's just sort of like, this is where Yavin is. I'm going to go number 4, Yavin as well. The reveal of Yavin.
My number 3 is Andor being upside down for 2 days or however many days he was upside down for, because I thought that was humorous and I liked it. Because I liked also that he was stealing the ship that he stole wasn't the ship that they planned on him stealing.
Yeah.
Toronto won.
Let's go.
I can't yell. I don't want to blow people's ears. Yeah, 3-0 in the
3-0 in the series. Amazing.
Desi, my dad just texted me. Yes, all caps.
Yes.
And my mom, wow. Sorry to ruin. Derailed. We're the Canadian podcast, eh?
It
was weird today, though. I couldn't skip to a Jays game. Watch them not do anything.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Did you say your number 3?
My number 3 was upside. Sorry, Brock.
Upside down in space. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I look. The thing is, sorry, Brock, is it's not just that was humorous, but it's that he stole a ship that wasn't planned. Like we're seeing things are not going the way they should, which is what it is.
Literally what they say all the time. My number 3 is going to be, gosh, what was it? Oh, I really liked Luthen in these 3 episodes where it's like when he's talking as his pretend like character of like the antiquities collector. He's like, it's very like flowery language. He's very soft spoken, but then when he talks to anybody that's in the rebellion, he's like, his voice gets grady like immediately. It's like and it's not him whispering. It's like it's like good character this to that to this. I like that.
So I was explaining him to Aaron because I don't know if she didn't see all of season 1. And I was trying, and I said, I'm like, he's like this, but when he talks to people as a rebel, he has a different persona. And he went into it like right after I said that, and that's not on my list. But that's one thing about Luthen. I think Luthen is one of my favorite characters that they have in the show, and it's the performance obviously, but the way the character is written, the fact that he does that, how he has the wig and he's all like gravitas, like he's so flamboyant. But underneath it all, and he has that monologue in the first season that just like was amazing. Yeah. Heidi's number 2 is Deidre telling off Cyril's mom. That is not on my list, but really also a great moment. Great moment for sure. My number 2 is Brasso. What's Brasso's death when he died? I was like, I really liked his character. He was a character that grew on me in season 1. Yeah. And that's a character who, when it happened, I was like, I wasn't beaten up over it because the thing that's good about this is they've now killed a main character. Yeah. They've killed a main character. There are stakes at play. So now Luthen can die. Vix can die, the other kid can die, B2 Emo better not blow up. But things can happen to these characters now because now they've established it. Like nobody is safe, which I know they kind of did in season 1, but this one now officially is nobody is safe, and here we are. Heidi's number 3 is Cyril's congratulatory speech to his new trainee. Yeah, that was great.
Oh yeah. That actor really brought it. My number 2 is going to be, oh gosh, I lost. Oh, I was going to comment on what you said about Brasso. It's like you don't even see him get hit. Yeah. He's just like, it's just like that. The show is so like, it's like, this is all going to be random and it's just not going to be fair. And you're not even going to get like a cool death scene. It's just like, he is dead now. Violence is unstoppable. But like, I like how like that episode ends where they're flying away and like, Andor's just like barely keeping it together. Like it's stuff like that. Like it's like 3-4 seconds of that show, but it just speaks volumes. So it's like we don't really need to find out the fallout of what they feel about the death. We could just keep moving, right? So my number 2. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's a great point of the show itself.
Yeah. My number 2 is going to be, oh gosh, what was it? I know what my number 1 is. My number 2 is, oh god. Okay, I'm just gonna make my number 2 my number 1, and my 1. The return of B2 Emo. Like, it's just like it's such a great little droid character that I'm just like, yeah.
Agreed.
Like you left him here? No. You gotta go get him.
I thought he was Gonzo in season 1. I thought he was going to get destroyed. I'm still afraid that that's going to happen because, I mean, we don't know where. I guess we can assume, which you should never do, that Bix is going to end up dead and Luthen will end up dead, but we don't know. You don't know. They just might not. Because the thing is, until like Rogue One, if you think about the way you write characters off without killing them in these situations, is they just don't have a part in the story of the original trilogy. Yeah. They don't have I mean, maybe it would make sense for Bix to be in at least Return of the Jedi, maybe. But maybe, maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense for Bix to be in that group in Rogue One because maybe she's somewhere else. Like, there's always like that, which sounds like a cop-out, but the reality is, and I say this with the Mandoverse stuff all the time, is you run parallel with the sequel trilogy, right? You run parallel with Rogue One, and then you can tell more stories with these characters if you want. I don't think they want to. I think they're all dead though.
Sorry, what was your number one?
I didn't say it yet.
Okay.
Oh, it's stealing the TIE fighter at the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was just like everything about that scene. I'm like, this is fantastic. Then he goes backwards, but then you learn, like, it's a funny moment, but then you learn, oh, it's actually not funny. It is funny, but it's not funny because he actually knew how to fly it, but he was told how to fly a different ship than he had.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's such a good scene. Yeah, can't wait.
My number one I can't remember what it was originally going to be, but I'm gonna put Deidre on this list, specifically the scene before Cyril's mom shows up, where they're like getting dressed, and she looks at herself in the mirror and then smiles, and it's just like it's the most relatable and frightening thing ever, because it's like you are human and also a villain, because it's just like, which one are you pretending to be? I can't tell.
The question is she a villain?
Yeah.
I mean, she is a villain, but she's working
Yeah.
for the Empire, which are just the leaders of the galaxy.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think she's evil, but I think Krennic knows she's evil. I think you have to be evil to get there, and I think that's the point. Right? I love how they're showing that the Empire is evil and they're getting their way with everything.
Is she wanting to squash the rebellion because justice needs to be served and the galaxy needs to be protected, or is she doing it because it's like the Empire has to rule? Like, I don't quite know where exactly that lands.
I think it's because she wants. It's complicated. It's not. I think she doesn't want the rebellion to take over, get rid of the Empire, and she wants to be the one that tears them down. Like, she wants to be the one that ends them.
I think she is the perfect product of the Empire, as we learn that her parents are dead and she grew up raised by the Empire. So it's just like, I don't think she knows any other, like, I don't think there's a matter of like right or wrong. It's just like Empire or not the Empire.
Which had me thinking, and tell me if I'm wrong, but do you think she's Luke's sister?
And this is the end of the podcast. I bid you adieu. She doesn't have brown hair, so she cannot be the hero. She's a white woman with blonde hair. Get out of here.
Right, they have to. I found myself rooting for Deidre last season. Like, yeah, you go, girl boss. And then, oops, no, you're the villain. What am I doing? That's, again,
that's good writing.
It is.
When you relate to the villain.
Which I always do somehow. I don't, except for in Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. I do not root for the villain in that one. Scooby-Doo 1 I do, though, because Scrappy-Doo.
I was like, what did you say?
Those are our top 5.
Top 5. That was a good one.
Top 5. Well, guess what? Same one next week, Brock. Top 5 moments for episodes 4, 5, and 6. We got our show is set for. Look, we went an hour. Our show is set for the next
3 weeks.
3 weeks, and then after that, KK. New rumor going around that KK is going to step down from Lucasfilm in August. I saw it making the rounds, and I was like, mute. Look, if it happens, congratulations. You're 70 plus years old. You've had a stellar career, but I am so tired of hearing the reports. But anyway,
we didn't really finish talking about the rest of Celebration. I'm sure you guys talked about it on Monday.
No, we didn't do anything on Monday. I was under the weather.
You don't do nothing without me.
I was like, no Brock, no time.
But like, you watch Twitter more than I do. Like, are people Disney Desi officially banned from the chat? Banned. Is the internet consensus that like this was a good celebration? It looked fun.
You know what? It was a weird celebration. There wasn't a lot of talking about it. There wasn't like going on. I feel like this, you know what? Because I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I feel like it was fine. I think Celebration, when we went at like this time when because I've talked to Sheldon about this, he's been to Celebration since like Celebration 3, I want to say.
Right.
But he went when nobody went.
Yeah.
And he would get media passes back then. He had no media. He would just go and shoot stuff. And
Yeah.
And we went kind of at the beginning of the chaotic times for it. Like
Right.
it was like Force Awakens, Rogue One, then us.
Yeah.
And it was like this, it was building, and then I think it kind of got out of hand with Chicago and LA. And I mean out of hand in terms of not the event itself. I wasn't there, so I can't even speak to that. But just like from an outsider looking in, like everything's got to be streamed online. We got to see all each other. I think they like this one kind of felt like maybe because it was in Japan and it was so far removed from North America that it felt kind of like we got the things they wanted us to get out to us news wise.
Yeah.
But the event was for people there, which is what it should be. Like the event, I know everybody complains that we don't get the trailers, but it should be for the people at Celebration. Like that's what it is. It's not. So I don't know. I feel like they're getting back to. It got back to more basics this time, where there was a lot of stuff announced and cool stuff. But I think on the Celebration stage, which you were at for last week, that was pumping, and we got all that stuff. And I think that's good for us. But everything else, I feel like they went back to the basics of what Celebration was. And it was more for the people there. And I'll bet you if you ask anybody that was there, they'd say it was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, as you were talking, I was thinking about when we went to Celebration. And it's like we did all like the main things and then walked like the artist alley or just where you buy stuff. And then there's that one panel I went to by myself. You guys did the music, I think, at the same time. But I went to a small panel where they just talked about Funko Pops. And I'm like, it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, there was probably that stuff as well. But nobody cares about that. Just care about the main stage.
Yeah, I think it's like the news dump, which was mostly the first day. And then you got a little bit of stuff the next couple of days. But I think like the news dump is stuff for us. And again, the Funko, like I think celebrations should be for the people there. And if you like, I want to see the trailer, then save up for the next one because, and I think it was the one in Chicago when they didn't release the Mandalorian trailer for season 1 to the public. It was only for people in there, and everybody online rioted. Like, how can you do this? It should be everywhere. And that, I think that was like, might have been like a tipping point of like, no, we don't have to do this. This is not for you. This is for the people who paid a lot, especially going to Japan. Like, other than people that live there, like people spend a lot of money to go there. People spend a lot of money to go to the ones in Florida, Chicago, LA. It's going to be in LA in 2027. They spend a lot of money, and it should be for them. It's a celebration. Like, they're celebrating you giving them money. But so I don't know. I feel like Chicago was the one though where they didn't show stuff and people went bananas over that. Like, just like they lost their mind. It's like, yeah, but we're not there. Like, who cares? We're going like now, Brock. We're so far gone that there's been 3 seasons and a movie's coming out of Mandalorian. Like, who cares about that trailer? Who cares about that trailer? Nobody. So it's great when you're there. Celebrate when you're there. And, but no, I think it was a 2 out of 10. It sucked.
Nice. All right. I took
the graphics right off. Brock. Oh, guys in the chat, thanks so much. The chat was on fire tonight. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Heidi's got a lot of theories about this show, so can't wait to talk to her about that. Yeah. That's one thing that Heidi is never short of is theories or odds. So if I'm ever stuck on an odd, I'm sending a message. Today she gave me 3 bangers. I was like, perfect, let's go. Because mine were like, do you think Cassian will get a haircut in episode 4? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate the chat. Brock, it's been fun. But you know what they say. You were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.